Hello everyone, and you're welcome to Press Star, your one-stop shop for everything gaming. And this is our pilot episode. I'm joined with this man dressed as Spy from Team Fortress 2, Ethan Drake. And want to say something? Want to say something?
I can quote Spy.
Why are you dressed like the guy from Team Fortress?
Yeah, I'd like to know that as well.
Team Fortress 2. Team Fortress 2, to me, is a game that I hold very dear to my heart and my wallet because I spent like at least £30 on it, minimum. And essentially, as soon as I sold my Xbox, so I had an X360 and I had the Xbox, I found out about it after I sold it. And I saw Team Fortress 2 and I absolutely fell in love with it, but I missed the opportunity. So when I got a PC, I started playing it, I absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
And the Spy is just a character to me that's like so mysterious.
He resonates with you.
Yeah. He's French, but you know.
Do you consider yourself a man of mystery?
I can't say.
Yeah.
I can tell you, but I'll have to kill you.
Yeah.
James Bond, Austin Powers type style.
Alright,
James Bond, but French.
Pardon our manners, but I'm your host, Kevin Joseph. This is Ethan Drake, and with me, I have two guests here with me. First,
my name's Tim. I work at the college. I'm a learner support worker.
and
I am Dylan Winmel, and I am a creative media student currently in Gladman Vale College.
alright, and our topic for today, the episode for today, is how gaming impacts our mental health. I know we just got a bit off track and just talked about why you're dressed as Spy from Team Fortress 2, but I want to go ahead and just get to it, starting with an icebreaker to set the mood. Mm-hmm. And our icebreaker is, what is your all-time favorite game, if you have any?
My all-time favorite game, that's a tough one. It might have to be Deus Ex, the original one. Just that opening level on Liberty Island was so different from the other games that sort of came out at the time, letting you. It was one of the first at least to me, immersive sims where you could tackle any problem how you sort of saw best. So the level was so open and you could be so creative with how you solve problems. That was quite a fun experience, and I just fell in love with it when I was a kid.
I can remember playing Deus Ex Mankind Divided. I just gave up on the end, the last mission, because it was so hard that I couldn't get past the armored cars around. But
no
anyway,
worries.
I might pick it up and get back into it. What about you, Dylan?
I'm a big sucker for the Assassin's Creed franchise.
Obviously.
And
wearing the 19 badge on it.
I have a shirt on underneath this now, Assassin's Creed Valhalla. It's not my favorite game though. My favorite game of the franchise is Black Flag.
Black Flag.
I love the pirate aspect. Some parts of the stealth is brilliant. And loads of people don't like it, but I love all the trail missions.
Yeah. But I do think that they went a bit.
They have went overboard with the amount of trail missions there are.
Amounts of tailing missions, yeah.
But I'm a sucker for them. Yeah. I love just blending in plain sight.
I think Black Flag is a pirate game first and an Assassin's Creed game second.
100%.
I played Curse of Monkey Island. I think it was the third one.
Yeah.
And there's the third act in that game is basically like a little pirate mini game where you have a little pixel ship and you just sail around this very small ocean.
Yeah.
And you just do these very quick battles. But it had a game loop where you sunk ships, got treasure, and you got bigger guns. And I played that for 6 hours straight with my siblings.
Yeah, the naval combat is top notch in any pirate game I've played.
It's ahead of its time.
Yes.
Essentially. Well, you, Drake?
I don't dress as a TF2 character, but my favourite all-time game is not Team Fortress 2. If I could have, I would have dressed as GLaDOS from Portal, my all-time favourite game. I'd heard of interviewing Ellen McLean, the voice actress behind GLaDOS. And
Yeah, that's including your documentary, isn't it? And
Yeah.
when it releases, be sure to check out Drake's documentary on Valve, the company that makes these games.
Portal to me it isn't the longest game. You could beat it like in an hour and a half, but the story for the time 2007, like it came out of nowhere, came out of the orange box, and it just like rocked the gaming industry because like. Kim Swift and her team, Nuclear Monkey Studios, like when they came out of DigiPen with Not Back in the Drop, their final project, like even Gabe Newell himself, the co-founder of Valve, he knew it was something big. He hired them on the spot to develop it into the port we see today. The story is amazing, the gameplay is amazing, the characters, GLaDOS, evil AI, like. It's just revolutionary, and it makes sense that I spawned a sequel. And I wish there were more sequels.
Yeah.
It's such a good game. I've beat it like 6-7 times.
My all-time. This is hard because I started with mobile, Temple Run, Subway Surf when I was a kid, and then I got a PS Vita where I was playing Killzone Mercenary. Lego Harry Potter years 5 to 7, and that was like till lockdown. I got my PS4 in early 2021, February to be specific, and I'm pretty much late to the gaming scene. But my all-time favorite game, not all-time, but my favorite game, is Horizon Zero Dawn. Because I know people say the story is kind of like not it, but if you understand the core of it, especially how it resonates with real life, you're going to enjoy it. And I'm a sucker for visually stunning games, so that's one of the reasons why I love it. And the combat is just unique, the bow and arrow, and there's like so many ways you can take down machines.
Yeah.
And that's another thing I like about it, and that's why it's my favorite.
Nice.
Mix of futuristic and
Yeah.
also the primal type.
Primal type,
Yeah.
post-apocalyptic, and also primal. It's unique in its own
Fighting
way.
robot
Yeah.
dinosaurs.
Basically.
Robot dinosaurs. Who could ask for
That's
anything?
actually one, actually. It's called a Thunderjaw. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, introducing to you the topic of today, and it's how gaming impacts our mental health. So the reason I chose this to be the pilot episode is because I remember during lockdown, I was feeling kind of down, and I didn't really have anything much to do except for my PS Vita. As I said, I was playing Harry Potter years 5 to 7 and Killzone Mercenary, and a handful of demos. So, and movies as well. So I was like, how did people during that time kind of find something to do? How did gaming help them? Because I've heard so many things about people using Animal Crossing as like an escape, and it helped them a lot because that time people say it's not that bad, but it was actually very dreadful, and people were losing their minds because they were like in one confined space for like 6 months.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and people were worried about losing their lives as well,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
their loved ones, were
and
in
that's
danger.
that's one of the reasons why I approached this topic. And recently, what reinforced it was when I saw Adolescence on Netflix. To see how that's a reference, but yeah, that's why I chose this topic. And to prepare for this, I conducted a survey that I shared across our course, the gaming department, and the esports team, and I got over like 40 good responses, as well as I summarized a study I found by Oxford University about if gaming impacts mental health, and they found that that's not the case, that it is the motivation, like the reason why people play games. So we're just gonna start with a general question for everyone. Does it affect your mental health or daily mood?
So I'm like, whenever I'm just out doing regular like college life, chilling with my mates, whatever, it's always kind of hectic. Everything's out of my controls most of the time. But whenever I play video games, I just have, it's my space type thing. So I have like everything's in my control. I can have.
You feel like you're in control of.
I've got control within that world. Everything's the way that's specifically catered to me, if you kind of think of that.
Yeah.
So like Minecraft, for example, you could build your own base, literally your own base. Everything's where you know it is and everything where you want it is. So it's just like perfect for how I can just chill off from hectic.
Yeah. Then those take a lot of time. Sorry
Yeah.
for the Star Wars references right now, spoiler warning, but it is the season of Star Wars. But I've seen people build like Star Destroyers and Death Stars. in
Yeah,
Minecraft, and it's
they do look
crazy.
cool.
It's cool. And I actually understand how you can be in control, and actually people love building stuff in Minecraft. It just takes the mind out of everything.
It does.
It's quite similar to knitting. The idea of doing something quite automatic and
Yeah.
simple kind of gives your mind something very simple to kind of fixate on, and then your mind can just kind of like either sort through the kind of things it needs to think about. That's why sometimes like just like doing the dishes or just like doing the shopping, just doing very simple simple tasks is just a little bit of a break for your brain. But for me, video games, I use them as a stress relief. So usually on a Friday or a Saturday, I'll usually crack open Chivalry 2, and I'll be like a couple. I would have had like a couple of Bud Lights, and then I'm just sort of like
chilling.
I'm just
chilling.
well, I'm just fighting guys with my big swords, cutting heads off, arms off. I'm in there. I'm in the top 5 people on the match, and I'm taking no prisoners. And I used to play with my mate as well, and we coordinate, and we just, we just mess people's stuff up. But besides that, I really like playing games with my friends and my family.
To get that more of that sense of connection.
Yeah, when you mentioned lockdown, I actually started playing Dungeons and Dragons during lockdown, and it was the thing that kind of helped me through lockdown, because it was the only time that I interacted with people. And for hours we wouldn't mention COVID or lockdown or how tricky things are in lockdown.
Really
we just talked about
Escape,
we just talked about
escape,
we just talked about what we're going to do. Are we going to attack the dragon first? Are we going to like sneak in through? How are we going to get past this trap? And we just did silly role play, and hours could go by and no one mentioned COVID or lockdown, and we were just being ourselves for like a few hours, which was nice.
Like for me, I do use it as a stress relief, but like for me, most I just use it to kill time, because mostly I don't have anything to do at home, so I do just like sit like on my desk, my PC, playing Battlefield for like hours on end. This simple game is so good. Like I just sit on there clicking away for ages, but and over lockdown as well, like I weren't in the best places mentally, so I did have to like focus on something when there was nothing else I could do. So gaming was my means to distract myself from what I was like thinking, going through that. I had the PS4, I had a Switch like that. Like Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. That was like my main game over lockdown. I was hunting for shinies. I was beating the league time again, getting the decks. And it did distract me. And Minecraft as well. That is another big game that I did just like spend hours on end for in lockdown. If I on my Switch, I was on my PS4 on Minecraft, and it was just fun. And I we're very good at like battling that, but it did help me get through that just distraction.
I think there are tons of games that I play that I'm not very good at that I still enjoy playing. Like I've been playing Rocket League for 7 years and I'm still really bad at it. And I actually played League with Sam, another member of staff here, and we played League and I brought his points down. I dragged him down, but it was still loads of fun. But yeah, you don't have to be like good at it. It's something to do, and
It's more like having fun rather than being good at the game.
Yeah.
And I think YouTube videos might play a huge factor because you have these videos, for example, Last of Us 2, people playing like aggressive playthroughs on grounded mode, and then you see them like hitting headshots.
Yeah.
And then people are like, oh, I'm not good at this game. Compared to this game, I'm kind of shit.
Some people are so good at games that their like whole YouTube channel is about doing different challenges of this one game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
can I beat Resident Evil 4 without running?
Without running.
Yeah.
Or just without running and a knife and stuff like that. Or
Like for me now, because I've recently gone big into Valorant, and I run up a game. I have two monitors. I have YouTube one monitor, one game Valorant. I have like this one guy, Waffle Light, and he just does like he's so good at the game. He just like does challenges,
Yeah.
like hour-long videos. Just like can I like what if I do all this hand, like all that hand, whatever. Or using a different like Joker setup and that. It's fun watching him play. It's like he's actually smart. It's like it does take like some level of intelligence because it is all about like poker hands.
Yeah.
And that so you do need to know what you're doing and like planning out like shaping your deck and that. And it is fun. Like I myself, I am a bit of a perfectionist. I aim to get good at games.
yeah.
So sometimes I don't just play for fun. I play to like get better.
Yeah.
It doesn't work much, but you know, I am slowly getting better at Balatro. That's my main thing at the moment. Balatro, whatever. And I do see myself getting better the more I play.
So if we had a deck of cards right now, you could teach us how to play poker.
I mean, probably yeah.
Yeah. Nice one. Start making bets.
Balatro, with Balatro, it's not just like poker. It is. It's an RPG, it's a roguelike game, but
Yeah.
with poker hands. It's really fun game. I highly recommend it.
Nice one.
Alright, this is directed at Tim.
Yeah.
You are an ALN support worker here at the college, and
Yes.
you work with students with additional learning needs. So,
Yeah.
my question to you is, from your experience working with students, how have you seen any impact of gaming on their mental health, whether positive and negative?
Gaming is for a lot of people it can be an escape, also a stress reliever. It's also something to bond over as well.
Yeah.
And like you say, it's something to do, but gaming is very accessible, and there are so many different types of games out there that there's something for everyone. Like you said, when you started with mobile games, that's casual gaming. That's sort of very short play times. Usually you play them on the go when you're on the bus or when you're on, you're waiting for a train or something like that. And then you've got other types of games like the Switch, which I read this article about games and the different types of gamers and the different types of places we play video games. So the idea of playing a game on the go, some person might have a Switch and they like to play games like on the sofa in the living room, sort of around other people, but that could also be on the bus or the train. There are some people who like to play video games like at their desk, like at their study. That's what might be known as an office gamer, someone who has like a big massive setup, 2 screens, a cooler whirring away, and those types of games also reflect, the games you play reflect that setup and where you play them. A lot of the learners that I've worked with over the years, a lot of them have Switches, so I think any one time like 2 or 3 of them are just carrying a Switch on them, and during breaks they'll just sort of, one of them will just whip out a Switch and they'll just play a game, or they'll play together, or they'll sort of like play a game and look over each other's shoulders and they're talking about games, but it's also a good sort of
It's also a good way for them to express themselves.
yeah, and it's a good way for them to sort of like make friends with each other, but it's also a good way of them sort of blowing off a bit of steam as well. Yeah.
Because like I remember like back in like year 9 or year 10 in high school, didn't you remember this? We all like a bunch of us had Switches, we all posted that, we'd all play some stuff with us on Switches, like two or 3 of us were bringing our Switch and controls and that.
Every
we all,
morning,
like, breaking lunch, we would all like play Smash Bros, like play each other, like we were such a like tournaments of sorts, essentially.
Yeah.
I was never that good, but
I was getting better. I whooped him a few times.
I used to I used to work in a special resource base for difficult behaviour, emotional behavioural difficulties. And the one thing we always did at the end of the day was we linked up. What were those little Nintendos before the Switch? The very small ones. The DSs. We had like 15 DSs, and we would just play Super Mario Kart with each other, and we'd all race. And it was a way for us to sort of like reconnect and also sort of socialize and blow off steam sort of at the end of the day, because sometimes there'll be like challenging behavior, there'll be sort of like issues that we have to address with, and sometimes that can kind of like create quite a tense environment between the students and between the staff. But like every day is a new day. It's you always start fresh, and that kind of like taking out the game is just a way for us to end the day doing something gentle and something sociable and something friendly
light.
and something light. Yeah. So I'd say it's like it can be really important. It can be a really good tool as well.
Question?
In your professional opinion, like how should gaming be approached or monitored when supporting like a young person's mental health needs?
Sorry, could you read the question again?
In your professional opinion, how should gaming be approached or monitored when supporting young people's mental health needs?
I suppose we've got to like ask ourselves, like staff, the learners, teachers, parents, that sort of stuff, what games we're playing and what games are appropriate. I know there are lots of really good games, but some games sort of might not be appropriate for some audiences. Definitely, like in that same environment when we were playing Mario Kart with the learners, a lot of them were also playing GTA 5 as well, but they're sort of around the ages of like 9, 10, 8, 11, that sort of thing. So games with content that is, so they play Mario Kart with us, but at home they play Doom and GTA 5. And, these games are sort of not appropriate for their age because it's got mature content and stuff.
I remember I was 8 years old when that game came out. I was in primary school.
It's like for me, me personally, I've been allowed to play GTA 5 until like 2 or 3 years ago, and now I'm watching my brother like talk about GTA 5 with his like 6-year-old son. My brother does say. Like my nephew says like he plays GTA 5, like he wants to go on GTA 5 and that when he gets home, and he's like 6. My niece just in 5 like not too long ago, and it's like a year apart.
If you're watching this, please get your child off that game. Please. It is not
There's
for
a number on the box for a reason.
Yeah.
Follow that.
There's ratings for a reason, people. Please get them off GTA, at least until they're 17. At least.
So, I mean, that's a very simple one. It's just sort of being aware of the games that we buy for, like if we're for our kids, and just sort of being aware. Being a gamer, I can sort of like say, I can sort of tell if a game is sort of appropriate or inappropriate. My partner works in education as well, and we had a little case of the reverse. A member of staff was saying, I think this learner's playing a video game. I don't think it's very appropriate because they're saying they don't want they want to do a genocide run.
What?
Undertale. And they were like, no, it's fine because Undertale is not. What's the age rating on Undertale? Is it 12?
It's 12-ish.
Is it 12-ish?
Yeah, it's not a gory game.
It's not good. It's like Final Fantasy 2, 3. It's pixel art graphics.
Final Fantasy is okay at least, but
just the concept of the genocide and the pacifist run, to someone who doesn't like who doesn't play that game, who over here will go, oh, they're playing a game where you do a genocide.
Yeah, outside of
certain audiences like of the game will have just specific tailored like names. Like you could say.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think now. There could be a certain game where there's a certain phrase that only that game has.
Yeah.
Whereas if you said it to another fan, you'd be like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, taking out of context.
Taking it out of
can
context.
sound very odd.
2 words. No Russian.
Oh yeah, nah.
That is super not appropriate to show people under the age of
Yeah, no.
whatever's on the
Right,
box.
there's no Russian. Okay. But if you're gonna like get a game for like a little kid or something, it does say like
It'll say-
on most things like what it includes. This one
I should have brought. I should have brought my physical copy of Cyberpunk because it has all those things there, like portion nudity, sex,
Violence.
in-game purchases, violence. Yeah, it has all those listed there. So they're there for a reason to see if it's appropriate for your child.
Yeah, I think that's like mainly the basic one. It's just making sure that like games are appropriate for people, and also just keeping an eye out for things like that have like gambling mechanics, loot boxes.
Yeah.
Like if you've got like your credit card or debit card tied to a
But that
to a
would be
game.
another
EP1.
topic
That's
entirely.
another topic.
with gambling, I watched a video I'm using, like I mentioned it in my documentary that I'm making. It's CS:GO.
Yeah.
Oh, CS:GO's the worst.
Counter-Strike in general, like they have like this like loot box type system.
Yeah.
Where there's skins and knives and that. Like there's actual websites, dozens of websites. We search CS:GO gambling, like it Googling about the problem. Like hundreds of sites show up about like gambling and trading and that.
There's
And-
also a lot of websites where you can like buy and sell your items
Yeah.
from your inventory, and there are a lot of them, like over about 55-60% of them are like scam websites.
Yeah.
So
One website in particular that's notable for me about CS:GO gambling is CS:GO Empire. Like the people who run that website, they treat it as if it's a mafia. Like they go after competitors. They send people to their homes. People who like endorse it. Yeah, there's videos by this guy CoffeeZilla. He's a journalist on YouTube. He's made videos about it. It's like they tried to sponsor a video to go after one of the competitors. He looked into that company. It's really dark, really twisted. Like there's stuff with T-Fortress 2 as well. They have hats and collectibles as well.
Yeah.
It's not as big as a problem, but it is still prevalent. There are still like lots of websites about that.
Yeah, if you're a young person and you're a vulnerable young person, you know you can be a target for people who might scam you. You know there are people who operate in the video game space who don't have like good intentions. So it goes along. But it goes along the same lines of being aware of what games people are playing and making sure that that game is sort of appropriate for them and that they sort of like know how to keep themselves safe if they are playing online or if there is a social element to it. But yeah, it's just about being aware and just being a little bit savvy with what
just
games are.
a little bit
what they have in them.
safer with websites and the people you talk to online. But that's kind of a different topic. That's kind of an online safety issue,
Yeah.
which I might probably cover as well. But yeah. So, general question. So, during your time gaming, during like the years you've been gaming, has it ever had a negative impact on you? Like stress? Because I know Souls games, that's like a whole because my theory is it depends on the type of game you play. Right, if you play multiplayer games, then you're known to be like raging a lot, be competitive instead of like having fun.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like the inverse way of the positive effects. And then you have games like Soulsborne and other ones where you just give up entirely. So has it ever had that kind of negative impact?
In the moment, a whole bunch of times, but luckily nothing more than just sort of frustration or disappointment to either be playing a really good game and then getting to a part of the game that is incredibly frustrating, and that but that's just sort of normal, I suppose. But like nothing. A game's never like negatively impacted my mental health. I've just gone like, oh, this game is really good, but why have they brought out the guy with lots of armor and the minigun in the cover shooter, and you've got like 2 points of health? Because the entire game is based on the cover shooting, but apart from this one enemy who throws all the game mechanics out the window, and also there's this other guy with a rock grenade launcher. I'm talking about.
It sounds like TF2. It sounds like
yeah.
T-Fortress 2, like heavy,
Yeah.
big guy with minigun, guy with rocket
Yeah.
launcher, a soldier. Like
Yeah.
my mind just goes back to TF2.
but usually just frustration, just an Uncharted. That's
Recently-
all. Uncharted 1 and 2.
recently.
One hit kill grenades.
Yeah. No, the Devil May Cry anime just came out, and it made me to pick up the game. So I picked up Devil May Cry 4, been playing it, been enjoying it. I get to the final boss, which is Sanctus, right? Which is the priest of the Order of the Sword. If you read about the lore, you would actually know what it is.
Yeah.
But you play as Nero, right? And the boss fight, he's basically running away using Spider Sword. And I rage quit. I did like almost 10 attempts.
Yeah.
Woke up the next morning. After my 5th attempt, I actually beat him.
Yeah.
I was so frustrated and I was about to rage quit for like the 2nd time, and I just beat him when I was relaxed.
But out of that frustration, all of those frustrated attempts of trying to defeat the enemy, that sense of accomplishment and elation you get from just having finally got over them and defeated them.
The joy
of
immense
just.
joy.
But whether or not that's by design or by just frustrated game design.
Oh, actually, that boss was poorly designed.
Yeah. No worries.
Like for me, I have 2 like stories examples now. I at a phase I was really big into Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and I was going for the hunt to 100% the game without the DLC and that. I beat all the time trials, all but one, and it's like Big Blue or something. And that AI, it's not even AI, it's an actual person. Like that bot, a ghost, shadow, whatever. It just infuriates me so much. I can never beat them. I get ahead and I'd fall off the map. It's so infuriating. I to this day I haven't beaten it. And one time, like 2020, like 2020, I was playing Fortnite with a friend and his friend. Like, I don't know the guy I haven't met before. I didn't have a microphone at the time, so I couldn't talk to him and that. And we were on like a private match, like with Playground, I think it was called at the time. And this mate of mine, he would like go on and say, like, oh, he's always down in school, he never comes in, never does work. But the thing is, I went to school every day. He never showed up to school. He was loud. He didn't do his work. So you say that about me, when actually it's like more about him. But he's putting that on me. It's so infuriating, so upsetting. Because like I thought he was my good friend. Like when he took a last break from school, he came back. He wanted to talk. He wanted me to come out of class and talk to him specifically. So that like stabbed me in the back essentially. And I felt really upset over it, and I wasn't doing too well mentally in that time frame anyway. So it didn't help me at all.
With video games do and have impacted my life, and I don't like this about me, but I played Fortnite during Chapter 2 time, and I raged every death. I absolutely hated.
I think I started playing Fortnite around Chapter 3. That was the Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I was Chapter 1, Season 3. I was an OG.
During Chapter 2 times, if I died, I'd be like, he's hacking, and I have to admit, I have broken a controller. I threw it against a wall, and I broke a controller. Then I couldn't play my games for like multiple months until I got a new one for Christmas.
Christ.
I'm not playing with you.
So I couldn't play any game, anything for my Xbox. It was just TV, film, for multiple months.
Yeah, I'm playing with you several times and you rage quitting.
And thankfully now I'm more story games and less like battle royales.
Yeah.
But from time to time I do hop on and I'm not as ragey. I'm like, damn it, start again, go again.
Fortnite
Inverse for me, it's not more like not raging it, just outright stop playing it.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't really hit the same as before.
It doesn't though.
Because when I played it, I didn't have any games to play, but now I have like a huge collection.
Yeah.
So,
It was Fortnite Chapter 2 that bad? Because you make it sound like it's the long
No,
life.
it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
The Chapter 2 was rather good. The game's good. It was just
The players.
the player base was
Player base was just.
Back on time the game was good. Now it's terrible.
Kids screechers who shouldn't be on the game in the first place, like 8,
hackers
9-year-olds
as well.
again, hackers as well.
Yeah. So this is for Dylan.
Yes.
What kind of games do you turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed with life or when you're feeling low?
Well, the first one was Minecraft. Everything I could have was where I wanted it. But I also turn into story games as well. So when I used to play on PlayStation, I absolutely adored Uncharted 4. It was one of my favorite games ever that I've played. Just the climbing aspects, some of the shooting aspects, and just the exploration, and especially
the chase scene.
the chase scenes and stuff.
Chase scene.
And because it's all about finding pirate treasure, I'm into my pirate stuff, Pirates of the Caribbean, everything. It just connected to me, and I could just get in on the game any level.
Did you play the other 3 games before?
I didn't. That was it came with my PlayStation, so I was like, sod it, let's give it a try. Oh my god, this is amazing, and I need to try and play the other ones because
You should play the first game
good.
because it involves Nathan Drake finding the treasure of El Dorado from Marco Polo, basically, and that's more pirate-like. It's more crusade, but
More
then
crusade
again,
piratey, yeah.
The Uncharted Legacy collection, I think they're all remastered.
Yeah,
And,
I think
they're-
it's just 4 Lost Legacy.
Yeah,
that was awesome.
they're really good games. I love Uncharted, although I did say, like I mentioned earlier, that the one-hit kill grenades do get a little. There is this
Yeah,
one
they do
level.
get-
It's the boat level where you're going upriver, and everyone's got a grenade launcher, and if you just get just grazed by the grenades,
It's literally the
they're
first mission, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can remember dying the first time, and then I did the second try.
Yeah. But they're good games.
They are good games.
All right, for the last question, so we all talked about how gaming impacts mental health in different ways. So my question for everyone is, in your opinion, do you it's not even about if it impacts mental health or not. Do you think the motivation to play games, the reason why people play games, can be a deciding factor in whether it affects their mood? If I phrase that right.
Do you mean if their mood affects what game they play, or if a game can affect their mood?
Yeah.
I mean, definitely. I think it can. I've had so many great experiences playing video games with my friends and family. There's the years-long Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I did over lockdown. I'm dungeon mastering a campaign now. I've been doing it for 2.5 years. There's the I think it was a 200-hour campaign that I did on Baldur's Gate 3 with my little brother and my mate, and we on the very last time we played it, we were getting to the boss fight and we were just staying up all night, and it was 5 a.m. by the time we finished. Just because we were just having so much fun, and it was just such a great experience.
I've experienced both positive and negative effects, and they also affected my mood as well. Because I can remember so many instances. The first time I played Jedi Fallen Order, and I think it was both the Tara Malikos boss fight and Trilla at the end. I can remember just putting off the controller, just turn off the game, went upstairs, watched the YouTube video how to beat him. Oh, I know how to beat him now. Just go quick down, beat him real quick, just get back to bed.
I reckon they do have positive, negative effects. It depends on the game again, or the audience. It's some people use this way to escape, a way to chill out after a long day, and then some people use it to competitive, try and win even money for it because of competition. So some people their mood can change varied on game, what type of person they are, and what they do in the game.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Do you have anything to say?
I'd say it is a bit of both. It all depends on what you get out of the game, what game you're playing,
Exactly.
because some types of games, yeah, like, it's just harmless fun, and it can probably just do nothing but like help you mentally. Some games, it could just be the total opposite. Souls games, like they are like notoriously hard. They can like de-spirit a man. It can crush someone.
Yeah.
Other games, it is literally so harmless. It can frustrate anybody. Like Animal Crossing, New Horizons. Any of the Animal Crossing games, they're just harmless. They are playful. They are fun. Like they are just good. Like games just idle, like to crash out like too. And like Pokemon as well, like Pokemon games, like they are good just like to
They
like, relax.
connect to the communities because
Yeah.
they try,
Yeah,
especially with the introduction of Pokemon Go.
Yeah, and like even back with the first Pokemon, like
Very first one.
Blue, like with Game Boy, they have the link cable tree,
link cable.
and like the battle with each other.
Yeah.
And with like the TCG, the trading card games, like that was like where people together like outside of the gaming.
And Pokemon Go got people walking outside.
Yeah, outside.
I think that's like the more innovative part of gaming.
Yeah, especially with technology like VR as well, also does a similar effect. It just, you can meet up with people like it's real life.
But I'd say it goes like double for like the fact that it depends what you're doing on VR.
Depends what
It's
you
like
do.
this VR chat, like sometimes you can find like harmless community, other times you can find not so appropriate stuff, which I won't go into detail, but I have seen some stuff.
I've talked with some people about like, I was just hanging out in this thing in this chat room in VR chat, and so started drawing this symbol and that symbol, and I'm like, mate,
I went to this one
just
game.
just leave, just take it off your
I
head.
went to this one game called Rec Room, which has VR capabilities, but I don't play on controller. I went to this one place, and someone, like as soon as I got onto the road, someone kept hurling the N-word at me.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if they were black or white. I don't know because obviously it's VR-ish game. But like, I was taken by surprise. I was waiting on a friend to join me
Yeah.
to go away from that. And like 5 minutes after that, I left the road, went to Devon Road, and there was just someone weird who I think he sounded older.
Oh god.
He was just following me around, following my character around.
No.
There can be bad people on
Yeah.
any
Especially
game.
VR games as well.
Especially VR, but
They're
you know,
everywhere,
technology is still evolving, so
Yeah.
there can be more things set in place, so that
actually. More
can happen.
safeguards.
Safeguards,
Safeguarding,
yeah.
very important, especially with games where you're able to meet people just randomly.
Yeah.
Just like anywhere in the world, because a lot of these like rooms are just places where you can just kind of leave hook with literally anyone.
Yeah.
And like you say, it can be harmless, but also the people who are who have questionable behaviour, they will seek these places out, so that like they'll just be there hanging out.
And the anonymity of it, like you have usernames. You don't like unless like you want to. You have your real name.
Yeah.
You don't tend to use your real name or like a birthday or something. You just see random usernames. Sometimes like bots, like bot names as well. So you have no clue who that person is.
Yeah.
Like you don't know what their intentions are. You don't know like what their background is. And another big game with crashing people is Roblox, which obviously is a huge kids game, like infamous big kids game. But there are a lot of questionable people, older people.
There is
target that
currently
game.
a class action lawsuit going on from parents worried about online safety of their kids on the app because they're introducing dating into it as well.
After the
Yeah. They're introducing, I think, 17 plus dating into it, and that had people outraged, like, why would you add that to a kid's game and stuff like that. I don't know if it's still going on, but there was a class action lawsuit on Roblox. Because then again, there are kids being groomed on there, and that's like a huge safety concern.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if you create a virtual space that is aimed at children, then you're sort of required, sort of professionally by law, to sort of like maintain the safeguarding of that space.
Especially if it's like a game targeted for kids.
Yeah. It's the same sort of professional and legal responsibility like a college or a school has. If you're like a space where there are people who are, either vulnerable or children in that space, then you need these things in place. Like we've got safeguarding teams and all that sort of stuff. You need that same level of care in in places like Roblox and VR chat.
I remember one time I was on Roblox with 2 or so friends. It was like quite a few months ago. I think at the end of last year. I was on this one road, and like you could have a room with someone else. You could share a bedroom, the dormitory, with someone. And there's this guy who I think he actually said he was like an older man, like 30s, 40s ish. And he was like following around this one character who I know is my friend, and like the characters in Roblox, especially in that game, because you have like custom like appearances for different games. Like it's more feminine, especially with the body shape and that, the clothing. And like I was following around my friend, who is actually a woman. So like it was a bit odd, and like people were saying he has done that like earlier. He's gone back like several times in the past. And it just seemed really dodgy. I didn't feel safe myself there because I didn't know if he's going to be following me around. I had no clue who he is. I tried to report him, but he already left. He either left, got kicked, or got banned. I'm not sure.
Hopefully banned.
It's actually easy to get banned on Roblox now, to be honest. So I guess they're taking steps to ensure
lots of people are trying to increase their safeguarding. They just and I can't.
Like I was trying to like enter the dorm, like my friend's dorm, which is like a two person per thing.
Yeah.
And he was trying to like move in with my friend, and it was a really weird situation. I didn't feel safe. My friend like felt like a bit odd, like having a laugh about it because like what else can you do? Like you can't like say anything. Like you obviously get sensitive and call him out for being like a PDF file. I would say just to keep it PG. But like it just felt really off-putting.
Yeah.
I think we like stopped playing like a few minutes after that happened.
Yeah, and these experiences, these can affect people's mental health. This is the negative side that these things can.
That people are talking about.
Yeah.
All right. On that note, we've already deduced that gaming can have both positive and negative effects, and it can all depend on the kind of games you play, people you meet, and just your overall motivation and reason to play the game. So on that note, this is all the time we have, and I'd like to thank Dylan and Tim for accepting to come on this podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me as well.
One of the perks of the job is, every now and then I'll do something unique and interesting, like talk to you folks. Now when I go home and my partner asks me, "What did you do today?" and I'll say, "Well, I was a guest speaker on a podcast."
Yeah,
there we go.
It was really lovely to have a chat with you both. And I'm your host, Kevin Joseph, signing off.